I'm telling you right now, John Cena is done. That dude has just been getting title shot after title shot just because he's John Cena. He didn't earn that Intercontinental title shot. And now, Dom's going to cheat, smile at the crowd, and walk out with that W. Cheat? Dude, Dom couldn't beat a traffic light. Cena's going to fold that boy like a beach chair at a family cookout. He's John Cena. He beat the Nexus. He beat the odds. Yeah, and now he's going to beat the parking lot traffic on his way home after Dom drops him. Hold this L, bro. Hold this. No. We're doing a Survivor Series predictions, and I refuse to let you start this whole show with this blasphemy. Too late. Dom rolls Cena up, grabs the tights, smiles at the camera, all the ladies lose it, and I'm gonna be insufferable when it happens, bro. If Dirty Dom actually beats John Cena, I'll eat a trash can lid like Io Sky in the WarGames. Bet. Let's run the predictions. Let's do it. Run it. And welcome back to 1, 2, Ooh, your place for all things wrestling. We do recaps, prediction shows, even sometimes give you the breakdowns of the history within the world of wrestling. I'm your host, 8-Bit Mike, and today we're talking Survivor Series predictions because all we got going on here at the studio is WarGames. But look, if you're new to the channel and you haven't had a chance to yet, smash that subscribe button like an RKO out of nowhere so you never miss an episode of 1, 2, Ooh. Now let's jump into it. Starting off with a men's WarGames match. This match probably couldn't have a bigger star-studded cast unless you had LA Knight, but he is currently involved with what seems to be a pretty significant feud with Triple H, who just seems to book this guy into a living hell. But anyways, we got Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Jimmy and Jey Uso, and Roman Reigns. You really couldn't ask for a bigger team here. Both the world champions on one side, taking on the Vision with Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, and Brock Lesnar. I look at this match, and there's just storyline after storyline after storyline on the Raw side. And there's so many outcomes from here because you even have the inner turmoil on the babyface side too. CM Punk and Roman Reigns do not like each other. Cody Rhodes and Roman, they've kind of worked their stuff out, but Roman ultimately wants to become the man again and wants to be champion again, and both champions are on his side. Then you have the weirdness with Jey Uso, and Jey seems like everything's okay, but I'm telling you, something's not right there. Same thing with Jimmy. Jimmy, for the most part, has seemed to be the most babyface one of them all, telling Jey not to think about himself, go help everybody, blah, blah, blah. But something doesn't sit right there for me either. But I look at this match, and just from the two teams, and thinking forward about the stories that are going to come, I don't see a world that ultimately the Vision doesn't win this match. I just don't. I keep trying to think of this feel-good moment of letting, Cody's side win. Is it just as big? But I think you really need the Vision side to win this because it creates so many feuds. If you have Drew pin Cody, that sparks the whole conversation of Drew getting another shot at that belt. You could have Braun Breaker pin CM Punk, which now puts you in that position of, hey, he deserves a title shot here. You can have Brock Lesnar come out there and just train wreck the entire ring. And Brock is obviously on a collision course with CM Punk at some point. I'm assuming that that's coming. There's so much here. It's hard to even say what's going to come first because I do think Braun Breaker was where I was going the most for the next title shot against CM Punk. But now Brock's getting involved. It really muddies the water here. And that could be what ultimately is the downfall of this team is they all want the pin. They all want the title match. But I think Paul Heyman will have this team really cohesive, really tight. I think they ultimately get the win. I think who wins the match is even less important as what comes out of it and how. Who gets pinned. I pray they do not let Drew McIntyre take the pin here. We really need something on SmackDown. And I'm not even saying this just as a Drew fan. Think about every week right now. I feel like Raw is just this amazing show where they're really telling great stories. I'm into the whole feud with CM Punk and The Vision. And they got all these other little sub stories going on the show. It's really good. Becky Lynch and the Maxine Dupree stuff is fantastic. Then we get to SmackDown and it just keeps feeling like almost a letdown every week. Like there's just not enough to carry that show. There's not enough going on. They need Drew to be dominant. And I even think if they do something in this match, because I think if it's straight up, no one interferes, the Vision wins. If there is interference and there is silliness in this match, there is some sort of shenanigans, the Vision wins for sure. Because I think if anything happens, it's going to be a turn. And I could see a world where Jimmy Uso turns on them. And I think that would be shocking. And I also think Jimmy's not a big enough star that if, let's say you had Jimmy join the Vision, right? Let's say Jimmy is beyond frustrated. He's irritated, and we've seen kind of the droppings of this like frustration from him when you look at Jay and Roman and the way that they've interacted, and he really has not agreed with the message from Roman. Him and Roman, even before that last match, had a little bit of a fallout in the back where he said, "Hey, I hear everything you're saying. I know what's up." I could see a world where Jimmy's just tired of it. Jimmy wants to be out on his own. And what if he betrays them? What if it's Jimmy who screws over this team and it leads to a Jimmy, and you could go back to the Jimmy and Jay feud, but ultimately too, do Jimmy and Roman. Jimmy has always been Roman's right-hand man, so that could even get you through a little bit. But I could see Jimmy as a good piece to the Vision because he's not at the level where he would be arguing for the world title yet, right? So Braun could still be the guy that's going for the belt. Bronson is this weird level where he's almost matched with Braun, but not quite there yet. Like, I expect Braun Breaker to have the title before Bronson Reed does, and I expect their downfall to ultimately be Bronson Reed wants a title shot. And I could see a situation too where something crazy happens, and one of them is the SmackDown World Champion, the other one has the Raw belt. I could see that as well for these two. But I think if anyone's going to betray, it's going to be Jimmy. And then you also have the long shot, but I struggle to like make this story make sense where Randy Orton shows up. The only way I've been able to make a Randy Orton heel turn on Cody in this match make sense, which, by the way, if I'm the WWE and we need to make SmackDown more interesting, I'm turning Randy. And the way I would do it is this. I would have Jimmy get taken out this week. Like, the entire Vision jumps him. They destroy him. He can't compete anymore. He's out. They need a partner. They need one more person to solidify the team, and it's Randy Orton. But we never see who jumped Jimmy. We just always assume it's the Vision. And come to find out, Randy Orton's in this match. He fills in the spot. He gets in there. He ends up RKOing Cody Rhodes. That's how the Vision wins. And in that moment, you find out he's the one who jumped Jimmy to get his spot in order to do this. And he is ultimately going after the title with Cody Rhodes. I think that could be interesting. I do think the Drew dynamic would make it a little bit strange, but you could do a bunch of stuff here. And I think having Randy turn on Cody would really be a huge boost for SmackDown. They've been teasing it for so many years. That is the way I would go. But I ultimately think no matter what, the Vision side has to win this match. It just makes sense. Besides, you don't want to make Logan Paul angry. That's been made clear. Okay, now we're jumping into the women's WarGames match. And for me, this is probably going to be the opening match of the night, I would assume. And that is what really pushes my entire prediction here. I think this is just a feel-good moment. I think it's an easy win. Have the good guys go over. Have the best friends win. I don't want AJ Lee to take a loss to Becky Lynch. I think the smart thing to do, have AJ Lee's team win, and this continues this road with Becky where she keeps losing. She can claim she was screwed over, whatever. Our team was screwed. It's always you, AJ Lee, and that gets you to your match. I do want Becky to win the IC title back from Maxine before the match, but I think ultimately this setup here is great because you have the two main feuds, right? You have AJ and Becky. Then you have the tag team turmoil that's built into this. The only thing that I find interesting is if this match is not on first, then I do think there's a world where Alexa is a sneaky move where you could have her turn on Charlotte, and then you have a really awesome feud heading into Mania where you have Alexa versus Charlotte Flair. I think that'd be awesome. But for the moment, and with what's going on in this tag division and the Kabuki Warriors, for me, this is a match that you just come in and you make Lash Legend look like a beast. I would go in there. You got a bunch of veterans in there. Make Lash Legend look great. Let's start building Lash Legend up. She's great. She has the look. She has the moves. She can wrestle. She can talk. I'm all for it. I think the women's division can use another monster like Lash Legend and somebody who's actually dominant. And I actually love her and Nia as a tag team. I think it's great for Nia because Nia, especially when we go into these matches where Nia really has to be highlighted and focused a lot more, it's always tough with her. I think she tends to get gassed or it's almost like a little bit of a fall off, but Nia in like these short windows of just dominance is really good. Someone super athletic and big like Lash, I think just helps her, and this is just a monstrous team. I do find in this match what would be the most interesting piece here is Lash and Nia did say they were coming for those tag titles, and the Kabuki Warriors now have those titles. So I do think you could have a little sub thing going on there, maybe later on, but I don't see them doing a heel versus heel for the tag belts. There's too many good babyface tag teams that need a shot at these titles, and you could hot potato them for a while. That's really what you should do with them. Just hot potato these tag team belts around for a little bit. It's what they're there for, and you can elevate so many teams, and it can be fun, and it can be interesting, and it's great when you tune in and you see a tag team title match, and I don't know who's going to win. I really don't. And that's always a great feeling that's really good for wrestling. But for me, this one is an easy slam dunk. I think don't complicate it. Just let the good guys win. Now we get to John Cena versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Everyone who watches this channel remotely knows how much I love Dirty Dom. And I think the only reason you do this match again is for John to drop the belt back to Dom. I think Dom will cheat. I think Dom will do something shady, and he'll beat John Cena. And if you look at what John has said he is trying to do with his retirement, it's push the future forward. Dominic Mysterio is definitely going to be a big part of the WWE's future. Why not give him the win? Have him beat John Cena. You know a character like Dom is going to use that story for years to come. I'm the one who, sent John Cena out of here. I'm the last one who took the belt off John Cena. It would go on forever. And Dom is just so good. These two had an unbelievable match on Monday Night Raw. I loved it. It was exciting. It was unexpected. Then you kind of double dipped and had him do it again on the next Raw. I'm not a big fan of that, but I get what they were trying to do in getting to see John Cena in a 6-man tag. Just a fun match with him, Sheamus, and Ray, all doing each other's finishers, all doing each other's moves, taking on the Judgment Day. The only issue I honestly had with that match was there's this whole fallout with Dom in the back screaming about how the Judgment Day wasn't there for him. Now they're just buddies again. I don't really know what we're doing with that story. We seem to kind of go down that road and then immediately turn around. I don't know. But I think with the way this match was built up, with the way it's set up, and with what John has overly voiced he's trying to do at the end of his career, you go into the Survivor Series, you have another great match with Dominic Mysterio, you can go back and forth, and ultimately, let Dom cheat, let him win, let him sneak one in on you. You can sit there and do the whole shocked face at the end. I can't believe it. Oh, you're a scumbag. Whatever. Who cares? It's gonna be fun, and it'll be a fun match. And let's be honest, as much as we say Dom is a heel, dude, he is over. He is over like a babyface, dude. People love him. I never in a million years thought we'd see a world where Rey Mysterio is booed and Dominic Mysterio is cheered. But that's the world we live in. And you know what? I love it. All right, final match of the night. It's the women's world title match. Stephanie Vaquer versus Nikki Bella. I'm not going to lie. I am so torn on how they should handle this because I'm not the biggest Nikki Bella fan. I do think it's cool that she turned heel. I think she's better as a heel. I think she'll do better. But it's hard for me to think that they're going to have Stephanie just lose the belt this quickly. My only issue is if she doesn't lose here, where do we go with Nikki Bella? What is this whole run? This is her last run in the WWE. I'm going to say something crazy here, and I know I'm probably wrong. I think Nikki Bella's going to win. I think she's going to find a way to win this title, and I think she's going to do something shady, and I also think she'll probably throw Stephanie a bigger beatdown at the end of this match. I think this feud continues for a while, but I do think that's smart. At first I initially thought with the Bella turn, oh great, this will be a good win for Stephanie. It'll be very easy. But then the more I started to think about the situation, I thought, what do you do with her if she loses here? She just takes another L. Like, not that Triple H hasn't been doing this with other people also, but where do we go? Like, Stephanie will just beat her, and it's kind of dead at that point. I like the world more where Nikki wins in a kind of crappy way or just beats her, right? And Stephanie's got to rise up against the person who betrayed her and come back and earn another title shot. And maybe that leads to her winning like an Elimination Chamber or a Royal Rumble and taking a shot at WrestleMania, and you have the rematch at Mania, and you could use this feud. I mean, this was Stephanie McCurr being betrayed by somebody who was supposed to be her friend, and she learns a valuable lesson of, I can't trust anybody, everyone's coming for this title, and ultimately my trust cost me the title. I could see that story. I also think everything in my heart is saying Stephanie just retains, and it's this her first defense that she retains, and we move on, right? But I don't know. For the story, I'm going to pick Nikki Bella because I think it's a better story to tell. But this was one I was torn on. But I got to go all in on Nikki Bella because I just think if this is truly her last run, let her win the belt. She doesn't have to hold it for a long time. Let her have some strong success. And if she has the title, and honestly, you let her take it past WrestleMania, she doesn't have to do the Rumble. You don't have to waste a Rumble win on her or anything like that. You could have a star like Stephanie McCurr win the Rumble or the Elimination Chamber, and that's a huge moment. So I think it's important that the more and more I talk about it, I think Stephanie should lose. I just do. I think you could play the whole, oh, she's beat up, she's beat down, she's been jumped every single night. Maybe at some point this week you have Nikki Bella, keep attacking her, getting in her head, and you let Stephanie make a critical mistake in the match that leads to Nikki winning. And then that way, like, Stephanie doesn't look weak, but Nikki comes out as the champ. Nikki doesn't look overly dominant, like, not like she crushed Stephanie, but I do think you need Nikki to win here. Otherwise, I don't know where we go with this story at all. I don't even know what we've been doing then. So my pick is actually Nikki Bella, and I've had to talk myself into that throughout the week just because I was like, well, Stephanie wins. I don't know, but damn, dude, I love Stephanie McCurr, so it kills me to say it. I think Nikki Bella wins. All right, so that's our predictions for the Survivor Series coming up this weekend. Look, tell me where you think I was wrong. Tell me if you think I got it right. Have you enjoyed the build for Survivor Series? And do you think the WWE got it right with the teams they picked? Or should LA Knight be on there? Come on, Triple H, what's your problem with LA Knight? This guy can't get a dub. But look, make sure you hit that subscribe, make sure you like, and don't forget to hit me up in the comments so you never miss an episode of 1, 2, Ooh.